All right, we're back here today doing some more upgrades. I want to give a special shout out to Evil Energy. They're a new sponsor for our channel / page, hooking us up with some -8 and -6 PTFE fuel lines with all the fittings you could need. They're gonna go beautifully with our Powerhouse Racing triple fuel pump. That thing is gonna be putting out some fuel. The hardest part is gonna be keeping the tank full. Yeah, oh my God. Cut. This is a Powerhouse Racing triple fuel pump hanger. This will go in the stock location right there. Let's take off the firewall to get there. Now it looks like in there is this. I happen to have a spare. A single fuel pump hanger. You see this is the stock one. I've done a little bit of assembly on the triple fuel pump hanger. And with our nice new Evil Energy -8 and -6 E85 safe PTFE lines.
Hopefully. Yep, no fuel's gonna come out. And bang.
Go in there. Oh yeah, lovely, lovely, lovely. So here you have it. Top hat is removed. Fuel pump is simply removed. And doesn't look too bad up in there. Hey guys, another day in paradise. I left off last night doing some mocking up of the fuel system in here. See, I have the Powerhouse Racing top hat on along with some fuel lines that I made with my Evil Energy -8 and -6 PTFE fuel lines. These things went together like butter. Gonna have to check that they don't leak. But this is where we are. I do not have the actual hanger in there, you can see, because I needed to crimp those fuel lines coming out of it. There's one, see that sticking up. That guy needs to be crimped down, and I didn't have the tool for this style, which is this little guy here, single ear crimping shitter, whatever, for these style crimps right here. Alright, here we are. Triple fuel pump hanger in my hands. Now I have this new tool that I picked up from Advanced Auto Parts. Yeah, 20 bucks, because I never really used this style clamp, whatever. So apparently you just throw this on there. I started to do it to make sure I was doing it right. You'll tell me if I'm wrong, but you just give it a good squeeze. And obviously that's not tight enough because it's still kind of moving. But you see, it's nearly maxed out. You get the idea. Alright, chat, I've been told this next part is extra fun. This part means putting this up in there. So I'm going to take this pack apart. I was just mocking this up to make the lines. So this is now out. Just gently massage it on in. Alright, chat, you may be able to see I got both fuel pumps in there now. I just put the bracket on the middle one, and I had to put these little screws up in there. You see it? Yeah, you can. There's 4 of them, and that'll hold the side ones down as well. Alright, chat, inside, look how I'm working here. I have 2 out of the 4 bolts. I'd say I probably have the 2 easier ones out of the 4, because they're right in the middle there. Hard to see. Let me get you in on that. Yep, you see those 2. Those are the quote-unquote easy ones. The other 2 you can't even see. Alright, chat, as you can see, my hand is fully submerged up in this tank. However, it wasn't that bad to get that bolt on, and I'm assuming the other side won't be much different. Let's see, I just take this, throw that John all the way on in there. And then tick, it hits the bottom of the thing. Nah, but I'm actually going to flip this around because it will be easier like that.
But, you know, I'll show you. Run the whole clip. Keep it running. Oh, yeah, that's the right way. Watch this. You see that? Bang. Bang. Maybe I'll speed this part up for y'all. Because there is also a trick to like catch the threads perfectly in there. Machined so tightly or something.
Alright. Oh, yeah, we got it. Houston, we got it. Now they could all be tightened. Maybe I'll use a tool. Alright, as you can see here, our assembly is in there. 2 fuel pumps are in there. Their socks are on them, which I almost didn't do. Actually, no, I was gonna do that. I almost didn't put those back bolts in there because, you know, I don't have a 3rd fuel pump, and I figured these 2 would be enough. But since I'm recording this, you know, I gotta set a good example. Well, after a little bit of, you know, finessing, I have the fuel pumps both plugged in, fuel lines attached, everything's crimped, tightened, clamped. Now it's just to put the cap back on for good, and we'll give it some power and see how they do. After some of this and some of that, we're ready to find some leaks, look for leaks, marks, get set. So. That's only one of them, because I only have one of them wired up. Let's look underneath. Look at this. See this little rat's nest of fittings and whatnot? It looks to be dry. Feel around, dry, dry, dry. Oh no, what are we gonna film next? I mean, everything's working perfectly. Mother flower. So now moving from the plumbing side of the fuel pump unit to the electrical side. I currently have one aftermarket fuel pump relay. You see that thing wasn't really in there, it was only a test mock-up, right? So I only have one, and I have to get another one for my 2nd fuel pump, which will go to there. And good morning. So we left off pressure testing the system, making sure that the lines weren't leaking. I had some power mocked up, and since then I have added another relay. It's all wired up, all tucked, wrapped up. Comes from my battery back here, goes behind there, and yeah, I'd drive it around and stuff, but kind of have a motor that's in pieces, you know, going for more power, baby, you know. So that's all over there. Stay tuned for the next video, because that's in the works also. But big shout out Evo Energy. Those fuel lines couldn't have gone together any easier, in my opinion.